I know where they live. I'll threaten them.
Matt, they can't hear you. Jeremy, talk about how you know where people live and you're threatening them and stuff. Somewhere.
Yeah, that was good. That was entertaining.
You were offering to run Orient Express and you had doubts on whether or not people want to play it. I know where these people live and I will threaten them until they agree to play this game. It's very simple.
And what manner would those threats look like? We're filling for Matt.
Okay. Well, you start off with just a friendly request.
Okay.
And then you say something like, "Oh, that's a nice cat you have. Be ashamed if something were to happen to it."
That's rough. That's going for the animals. That's
threatening the cat.
Hello.
You don't threaten the person. You threaten the pets. Threaten
back
the things that they
and
love.
had a good time.
Them.
Jesus.
There we go. Okay. I'm
a good person.
I'm back. My mic wasn't pointed to my mic in OBS. Well, thank you for letting me know before we got too deep into the game, because sometimes you'll go for 20 minutes and someone will say, "I can't hear the GM." Like, thanks for telling me now. So appreciate it. So I was just saying that we're going to take a break from Starfinder for the next little while. We're down a couple players. We're going to focus on Achtung, Cthulhu and playing this. We're having a good time. So that's what we're doing. That's what we're here for tonight. So let's go ahead and do the roundtable. Everybody can introduce themselves and their characters. Jeff, tell us about Pavel.
I'm Pavel Voracek with my good friend Gregor. Gregor, best in his class, very small marmot, runs around since I carry him in wicker basket on my back. Pavel is spiritual leader. He is Hungarian. He's from the Carpathians. He travels the world both physically as a nomadic druid, but also in dreams as dreamwalker. And he casts druidic spells, and he's very friendly. Very, very friendly man. That's all I got.
Yes. Him and his squirrel.
How dare you? He's a marmot, and you know it.
Megan, tell us about Ruby, please. Our Canadian.
Well, first off, Jeremy, know that I will always say yes to you. Okay, and so I play Ruby, Lieutenant Ruby McKay. She's from Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. She is, she's a nurse. Pretty, according to her European fellows, rather scary apparently, and has a bit of a dark side. Let's see where she goes today.
Let's see if she can not critically fail on her stealth rolls tonight. It's a character trait for you now. It's like a character thing. I love it because it's happened a few times, right? Or a couple times, I should say. But it's kind of like a quirk. I think we should introduce it as a truth. That you're not good at stealth.
I am.
Great. All right, Aaron, tell us about Leopold.
Leo Brun is a German. By birth, he was raised in Munich in a school for extraordinary students. His parents were both instructors there. The school was actually a front for the nefarious Nacht Wolf, but we did not know that at the time. My mother, a psychic as well, had a premonition in 1933, and we fled Germany in the middle of the night and relocated to Great Britain. All of my family members themselves are psychics, and I was raised as an insightful telepath and telekinetic. When it became inevitable that war was going to break out with the growing evil in Germany, I joined the Section M to assist them in their efforts to turn the tide against the Nacht Wolf and perhaps even the Black Sun.
That's right. We're not Section M yet, though.
But we're not Section M yet.
That's coming.
My mother is, as I said, she procrastinates the future and has seen the coming of Section M.
Yeah, there you go. And last but certainly not least, Jeremy, with Jonathan Morris.
Yeah, I'm Sergeant Jonathan Morris. I can't see the future. I'm just the token American meathead. I get it. That's my role. I'm a career soldier. Allegedly, I died sometime a while back. Experimental blood transfusion, all the good things. Now I got a shield and I beat people with it, and it just makes me happy, especially because I've disguised the shield as a baby. Don't ask too many questions, but it's beautiful.
It is a beautiful baby, isn't it?
The best.
Oh, I love it. All right. What happened last time? We're a couple weeks out. We arrived in Italy, Rome, Italy. You went to your local contact's base of operations. When you arrived there, it looked like, well, not like it looked like. It was ransacked. It was boarded up. There were signs from the black shirts on there saying that suspected traitors. You guys managed to find, well, you guys, it was Leopold and Pavel, I believe, managed to find their way inside, and there were these paper cut oak leaves everywhere scattered about the inside. You also found a tourist guide to Italy, to Rome. And what else did you find? There was something else. Was there a note? There was a note.
There was a note, but there's also like the leaves too. I remember
The oak leaves, right?
Yeah, follow the leaves. I think.
Yeah,
that's what the note
said. Yeah,
the leaves.
So, and then there was the statues. Oh, there were the statues named, or the operatives in Rome were using names of the statues that were in a certain area of Rome. So you went to go locate these statues. One of them was right by Mussolini's personal office. So you avoided that one, but you found the one you were looking for, and there was another leaf there, another leaf with a clue, telling you a general vague idea of where to go. This one was to a big giant stone face mask thing next to a chapel. You followed that. You went there. There was nothing. If you put your hand in the mouth of the statue, it was supposed to bite it off if you told a lie or something like that. But nobody tried that. And then you went into a big giant cathedral next to it, and you found some stones near the door that were used to bludgeon pagans. And within there, you found a note of where to go next, and that is to Tiber Island here in Rome. And you have two targets. You have a hospital and you have an archaeological site or dig site that we are going to next. Yeah. Sorry, just looking at the chat. Does that sound about right? Does that sum up basically everything?
I think we changed our mind. I think we're gonna do archaeological site. That's okay, right, Matt? Like if we just up and change it.
Nope, absolutely not. Absolutely not. We're going to the damn hospital. I specifically asked at the end of the last session, what should I focus my time on first? No.
Yeah, because we're looking because wasn't there context Pasquino was his name, and he was like on the road crew or something.
And
yeah, it was on the road.
Sabella was the name of the other ones.
Lucrezia.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Her real name was
Sabella. Was like
Sabella was the name. Sabella's her real name. Lucrezia was her code name, I think. And Pasquino's real name was Nikki Felipe.
Right.
That's right.
Nikki's in the prison.
Mm-hmm.
Or is in the road crew by the prison.
Road crew
yes,
for the prison.
Nikki is presumably in the road crew at the archaeological dig. But it is disguised, or the front for it is that they're building a road straight boom to the Vatican. So that's what the cover is, but there's more afoot, or so we think. But we decided instead of going into the archaeological site, we're going to go to the hospital first. We're going to knock that one out first. So let's dive in here. I'm going to give you a little bit of information on Tiber Island because, hey, you have this guide, so you have all sorts of information at your fingertips. So Tiber Island was allegedly formed after the body of the hated final king of Rome, Tarquin the Proud, was hurled into the river by an angry mob. In other version, the river's slit built up around the king's discarded grain stores instead. Only approximately 300 yards long and 75 yards, so 270 miles long, or 67 miles wide. The islet has been carefully and deliberately shaped over time to resemble a boat, particularly on its western end. So this is actually in Rome. It's an island within the city, and it is It's very small. Very, very, very small. But the island is linked to the rest of the city via 2 bridges. The Ponte Fabricio, and also that's on the river's left bank. And the Ponte Sestio, which connects the right bank. So the left bank is to the north and the right bank is to the south, to give you guys some bearings. And the island is home to a functioning hospital, a church, and access is pretty much open at all times. Like, this isn't like a private island that you need to gain access to. People come and go through here freely all day, every day, day and night sort of thing. So it's not like you're going to need to sneak onto this island per se. But yeah, there's a little rundown of the island itself, Tiber Island, and where you're headed. We're going to say that we left off after your little excursion across Rome, finding all these sites and all these clues. It's going to be a late day, so it's going to be 5 p.m. Currently. So it's dinner time. We're getting close to the evening. It is, what month were we in? It was late summer, wasn't it? September?
Late summer, yep.
So we, dusk will be somewhere around, 7:38, we'll say, is when dusk and the nightfall will shortly follow. So what do we want to do? We're at this church, we're at this cathedral, or we're still standing within there. You just found this note. What's the plan? We've decided we want to go to the hospital.
Would it be a good time to go? Should we wait? Go in bright of day? Should we try to sneak in under cover of darkness? What say you?
I like the idea of going in sneaky. I feel like it's Ruby's time.
She is very good at it, I hear.
Amazing. I'm never the one that screws it up. Not me.
But
Yes,
considering that some of the secret police in this area may be on the lookout for some of us, perhaps we should proceed tonight to the hospital to see what we can discover.
Quickly and quietly. Yes, very okay, yes.
It's true. If you plan too much, you're just giving yourself more complications. You know, it's better to just charge forward.
This is an interesting idea.
I agree. I mean, a hospital never closes.
That's right.
Accurate.
We
This
can
is
even
true.
injure some people so they can be busy.
You could create patience. Manufacture
That is-
patience, if you will.
That is a fascinating strategy. Truly. Your
Is that
mind
too
works
much?
just... No, your mind is like beautiful prism. Just light goes into it, it just goes all sorts of different ways.
Wow, that's like one of the nicest things anybody's ever said to me.
Of course, it is true. Everything I said is true. I will even put hand in mouth and say it out loud to prove it. Not your mouth, the statue's mouth. Sorry,
Oh.
you might have forgotten.
I was like,
Yes.
I thought maybe it was like a cultural thing for you, and like I didn't want to say no and offend you, but at the same time, like that's weird. Who puts a hand in a mouth?
Babies, I think.
Babies are gross.
That is true. We are agreed on so much, yes.
Don't
But,
forget you're pushing one. Jeez, don't say that loud. You're pushing.
No, our baby's perfect. Our baby can't put its hand in its mouth. It's pure.
Wait, I'm sorry, I must ask question. Why can't it put hand in mouth?
It's a shield. It doesn't have hands.
Oh, I thought we were using metaphor. Like there was a reason you had worked out in backstory why it couldn't.
Leo, do you want to go? These guys can continue to talk over the
No, we go.
Let's,
of our baby, and we can go.
so we will try to quietly, casually stroll to the
Blend
island
in.
without looking like
Mhm.
we're casually strolling to the
Sure. Like I said, the island it's busy. There's a church or a hospital and a church here, so it's not uncommon for locals or even foreigners to come here. So you guys are able to easily find it using your guide. Do you want to scope out both bridges, north and south way in, or you just kind of want to take the closest one and just see? Do you want to observe the island from across the water? what sort of approach are you guys thinking? Or you just want to go over there and start observing the hospital?
Can we take a taxi?
Are there taxis at this point in time? I don't know. I don't know, Megan.
I'm sorry.
I will say yes.
Perhaps they are not on duty right now. It is late, like you said.
Right.
You can take a horse and carriage, if you will.
Oh,
It's nice.
I do like horses, but should we not maybe take a look at bridges, considering this is main way out first?
I agree. I mean, I'm not saying that anything could ever go wrong during our reconnaissance, but sometimes, we burn one bridge and then we have to cross another. So let's choose which bridge to burn metaphorically. Is that what a metaphor is? I don't know.
Yes. I think it's possible, though. Sometimes you might be speaking literally. I'm not sure, but I feel you. Yes. So yeah, Matt, we want to scope out the bridges.
Perfect. So you're gonna make your way there, and we're gonna let's do some observing. Well, shall we?
Oh boy.
Yeah, you aced it last
Inside
time,
observation.
didn't you? Inside observation, and if you had urban stealth, no, I'm just kidding. Difficulty 1. You
Okay.
just this is not a difficult thing. I am taking one of your momentum away though, because we're changing scenes. Okay, so all of you, let's say you guys split up between the north and the south, and then we'll get different bits of information from here. So there are no guards, either black shirts or Germans, at either of the bridges. It looks like they're wide and open to traverse. There are all runs of people going across to and from. It seems to be busier right now in the evening with the church. More people are going there. The hospital doesn't seem to be terribly busy. The hospital is only a 2-story building. While it is newer, it seems to not be getting many patients, at least from what you're observing here at this time. You assume some of the other maybe older hospitals maybe are bigger and better staffed to have people, because there don't seem to be a lot of folks milling about. With the dig site itself, you do see from here, you can make out, what do you got? You guys all got 1 success. It looks like there are German soldiers patrolling around the site itself. You're gonna have to get closer to get further details. And there are trucks, covered trucks, that come and go. They don't seem to be coming and going at any sort of set intervals, but they'll leave the dig site and return shortly after. You can't tell where they're going. They take off deep into the city, and they come back, and they just kind of do this. There's no set schedule. You also notice that the dig site itself is surrounded by a number of boarded up older buildings. So there are quite a bit of old abandoned buildings around this dig site. But other than the Germans around the dig site, it looks pretty clear for possible entanglements.
So are these buildings like old as in like Middle Ages sort of old, or as in like antiquity? Is that a word?
No, that's a word. That is a word. These are older buildings. They look like they're in disrepair and disarray. And given that the mandate is to clear this area to build a road, it is assumed through your observations that these buildings will be demolished to build this road, most likely.
It appears that we have a somewhat clear shot at the hospital, but it is quite quiet there. We may have to approach stealthily, or we will stick out like what the American said, the sore thumb.
Yeah.
Perhaps we have forged wound, so we have reason to go to hospital. I know that you suffered a gunshot. Like, does it still look like gunshot? That might cause questions if we go in with gunshot. But might that give us reason to show up at hospital?
Fair. And I'll take a look, and it's it's stopped bleeding and slightly crusty. So I could always like pick the scab and and make it fresh again, if that'll help. My only
Gross.
concern, my only concern would be like the gangster guy, man. Like he knows he grazed me. He saw the blood. So would that not be like a red flag?
Yeah, if he's local, he's probably already reached out to contacts at the hospital to be looking for a lady of your description with a gunshot.
For sure. I mean, I would have had normally no issue doing it, but I feel like it would be a larger red flag than me going anywhere public is already.
We could also say we are coming to visit someone, but we would have to really fast talk our way past, come up with name, reason, that sort of thing.
Oh, one of you could just stab me. It's okay.
Can I really?
Really?
I mean, if we legitimately think it'll help, I'm fine. If you want to stab me.
No,
Not so much here or here, but like right around here. If you stab right here, I probably won't die.
Well, why don't we just see if we can scope it out and find alternative way in before we start stabbing each other?
Okay, I'm just put it on the table.
No, excellent. Call it Plan C, maybe?
Like hand in the mouth, never. Stab in the gut, once in a while.
There's a chance at if you can find no other way in, I could attempt to read the mind of the desk person there. I could try to get into their mind without them knowing, though it can be tricky, and see if I can pull the names of some of the patients out. But I would say that is a last resort, because if they pick up on the intrusion, they will know that something is wrong.
If we find a decently hidden building with some of these boarded windows, I could perhaps, open up a dimensional rift to the dreamlands and port us to the rooftop of the hospital. So we go in from above, quiet-like. That is possible.
I would be very interested in seeing that in action again. Your sources of power are very intriguing to me.
They are the
This
old
is so
gods.
weird. Good way.
I like it. I call that Plan A, Leo's Plan B, and Sergeant Morris's Plan C. All right.
Okay.
Yes, Lieutenant McKay, I believe you have assessed it correctly.
Okay, let's go.
And sorry, just a reminder for who shot Ruby last session. It was an OVRA agent, which is kind of like the intel and spies government-run organization here in Italy. They're just kind of keeping tabs on everybody, especially anti-fascist organizations and such like that. So that's who approached, cornered Ruby, and shot her last time. OVRA. So that was actually a really good pickup that the OVRA may have put out, a report looking for a English-speaking woman, or an English woman who has a gunshot wound. So, and we got a reroll from Sundance Kid. Thank you. Keep that in your back pockets for when you need it. So, what is our first plan of approach?
So
We
I
got
think
three
we want
plans?
to. Yeah. So how close are these dilapidated buildings to the hospital?
So the dilapidated buildings are actually around the dig site. They're not near the hospital. The church and some like houses are near the hospital itself, but the boarded up buildings are around the dig site, which is the other
So-
side of the island.
We should go towards hospital. We should, wander a bit by church. We should
Yeah.
see if there's open windows in the hospital where I can see in clearly to empty rooms, or if there are nearby buildings that we might be able to get vantage point where I could get us onto the roof of the hospital. These are options. Somewhere out of the way that I wouldn't be noticed and people just wouldn't just poof and disappear and people freak out about it because, magic makes everyone uncomfortable.
They simply have not learned to accept that it is the way of the future.
In the way of the past, my powers come from ancient times, from the older gods.
Ah,
So
It's very interesting. I find it very hard to believe, but I have seen it with my own eyes now.
it is fine to be skeptical, but once you see it, if you choose not to believe it at that point, then
It is clearly a fact. I have seen it. I have felt it. Your powers are very interesting to me. We must see if there is some time where we can meld my psychic abilities and your magical ones to some greater effect.
I would be very intrigued with what if we put our two heads together, could come up with.
I would,
Shaking his head, no.
I'm gonna resist. No, I'm not. You got Doc.
Okay. So I'm gonna say it's getting dark at this point, and you guys are starting to kind of like, you've moved onto the island and you start to fan out. You're kind of getting close to the hospital. We'll say you're approaching the front of it. Again, there's no guards or anything outside the hospital. You can see through like a glass door leading in that there's a light shutting down on a desk, like an admissions desk. When you come in, it looks like there's a nurse sitting there. There's a few people sitting, waiting near the entrance. There are a few cars parked around here. But now that you're over here and you're kind of walking around and scoping things out, you notice that there's a light at the rear of the building, which is over a back door. Standing outside that back door appears to be a single German soldier on guard.
Perhaps Sergeant Morris could show him his baby?
Maybe. But we want to think about the time frame, what we're doing. I'm glad to. Nothing makes me happier than to knock somebody out. But he's probably got some sort of interval. He's got to like report back in, whatnot. So once I do that, you got to hustle.
All right. We might want more time inside.
That's all I'm saying. I want to do it so bad.
Could we move around a bit some more? Maybe
Yeah.
see if we can find an open window or something like this.
Definitely. You shift around the building. There are occasional windows that are open here and there. Like I said, it's a 2-story building, so it's not terribly tall. And there is the odd window that's open. They're not barred or anything like that. So you could technically slip through. You don't know what's on the other side, but you could slip through a window and into this hospital.
I'm just gonna throw this out there, see if this is okay. If we back away into like, a little bit of distance away so that we're obscured. Could I send Gregor, a marmot, very good at climbing, to kind of scurry up the side of like the hospital to see if like he can kind of like peek into one of these rooms to make sure they're empty before I try to teleport us into the second floor?
What did we do last time? You used like a momentum or something? What did you do last time?
Yeah, I mean, I think I spent something like that. I can't remember exactly.
We can
because it was introduced a truth. I think.
Right, that's right. Sure, we could send Gregor in there to look. We need to create some stats for Gregor, some observation stats or something. I don't know, but yeah, let's do it.
I don't think the numbers go high enough on the sheet.
Yes,
but I'll burn momentum to introduce a truth to say that he's capable of kind of scurrying up, and like we've already established we have like a shorthand communication. So
I agree.
I basically just want him to go and see if he can find a second story like open window in the hospital and like find a way and just find an empty one so that I know like that's the good one we can teleport into.
Sure. So he scurries up. It's a brick building, so he's got grip. And you see just this marmot dart out from the building that you're standing beside. And towards the hospital, scurry across the road. He stops the road, looks both ways first, and then scurries across. Starts scaling this brick building towards the nearest open window. And you see him kind of sit up on the sill and just kind of dump down into the room. All of a sudden disappear. And you wait there a few moments. And while you're waiting, all of a sudden one of those trucks, similar to those that you saw at the dig site, drives past you all and pulls up to the rear of the hospital where that guard is standing. A mix of German and black shirt troops pour out of the truck. It's a covered truck, large covered truck. And they begin to lift out of the back what appears to be bodies wrapped in sheets out of the rear of the truck. and they start bringing him through the back door of this hospital. Everybody go ahead and make me a roll here to see if get a better look of what you're looking at. We're going to do a reason observation, 1 difficulty. You can buy some momentum here, maybe. Oh, Jeff.
Complication.
Do you want a complication here, or do we want a threat? Megan got a
Go for
complication
it.
also.
Oh,
I think
go for it.
I think we'll do 1 complication and 1 threat. I think it's only fair. Split it.
Okay. So, Leopold, with what you saw, they're carrying these bodies in, and you're observing, and they carry in 6 total. 2 of the 6 appear normal. Like, you can't see the bodies themselves. They're in, like, there's a sheet covering them. But 4 of the 6, something around the face seems odd. There's something protruding underneath the sheet where their face is located. So there's something off about 4 of the 6 bodies here that you're observing being brought in.
So Leopold will once again try to reach out after he failed so horribly earlier in the day and try to connect our minds so that we can actually communicate telepathically. Come on, for the love of God, let's get
We
this
failed
right.
this twice last session, right?
Twice, yeah. I mean, I just completely blew it. It's pretty low skill for me, though, I think. Okay. Actually, that's a failure. I need 2.
I was going to say you
successes.
need 2. You kept getting 1 last time, didn't you?
Yep.
Okay.
So, yeah, that doesn't work.
While you're looking, I'm going to say, Ruby, your attention is elsewhere. You're trying to keep an eye on everything going on around you, and you're unable to focus on any one thing, and you don't see these protruding faces on them. Same with you, Jonathan. But Pavel, you're watching. You're more focused on Gregor and his safety. And as you're watching that second floor, you can see through the various windows on that top floor, you see a German troop going down the hallway. And you can see him like pass window, next window, next window, next one. He seems to be doing like a sweep. And it's one of the Germans that came in via this transport. So it didn't happen immediately. It looks like, you know, they've offloaded. It's taking some time to get these bodies in there. And it looks like maybe this German soldier's doing a sweep. And you see him get to that room with Gregor, and you see a look on his face, and you see him raise an MP40 into that room. He looks startled.
Grab my hands, and I will cast, like, for Gregor, we're going.
I know. This is your complication. I know.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to tap into my weird to increase my power so that I can get all of us. And
do I need to cue the battle music?
I will burn a momentum, and I will give you an extra threat to get another momentum, so I can roll with extra dice just to be safe.
Very good.
This is Gregor we're talking.
This is the Gregor. We're not talking.
This isn't. This few things is important. So, all right, trying to remember. There it is. Okay, so that's going to be 4. All right. That's 3 successes.
Nice.
Wow.
That's good.
Very nice. Very, very nicely done.
So that'll kick a momentum back up, and let me roll my cost.
Sure.
And so what's going to happen, because I'm using weird, as you all huddle around me, I start to look very weird as you start to see like roots and vines and tentacles begin to just start either physically sort of straining underneath my face as the skin begins to retract a bit, and I kind of almost look like the druidic nature is sort of taking over a bit. And it is kind of, and like those of you who are like grabbing onto my hands, you feel like my hands kind of turn to bark as vines begin to root around them, and we just zoop, and we head up there. But let me see how I roll. You all suffer 2 mental stress from that.
Unavoidable?
So I mean, I think if people have courage,
If you have courage, yeah,
it
it
should
would
be fine.
negate that.
Yeah.
So yeah, they suffer 1 mental stress for each effect I roll. on the spell's cost. So they should be okay.
Okay.
Leo soaks it with his courage.
So all of a sudden, just poof, and do you just all appear in this room?
Yes, but I will be basically stunned for a moment as this happens. So,
Okay.
as like I can get rid of, like I'm not going to take the damage or anything like that, but I will feel the stun, as I will be stunned for a moment.
Okay, so all of you suddenly, like immediately, boom! You're on the street. Next thing you know, you're in the room. Pavel collapses to the floor. Gregor's cowering in the corner, and there's a German pointing an MP40 at Gregor. What do you do?
I telekinetically grasp the German with my mind.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Punch him in the throat.
Okay.
And I will use that point of momentum if that's okay with everybody.
Yes.
Give myself an
Please
extra
do.
die, and I'll give you a point of threat, Matt, to get a one more
You
die.
guys are really giving me threat tonight. I gotta use it. This poor German has to survive.
It's okay. 5 successes.
Oh my God.
So two of those
shit.
I'm gonna use to amplify the grasp. So basically, he's grabbed telekinetically, lifted off the ground, is completely helpless and mobile, and then I use the extra 2 points of momentum to crush him.
Now I know how Jeff feels when Jeremy casts spells in Deadlands. This is like the equivalent right here. Okay. So sorry, what happens to him?
He gets crushed, so he takes 7 dice of damage. 7 physical stress with piercing 2 effect.
Holy crap. 7 physical stress. Okay.
And I have
That
to
is
set
more than he has for max stress. So what does this look like?
So I reach out with my hand. The air kind of shimmers between me and this German. And then he lifts about 2 feet off the ground. And then he just crushes into a small ball. Into a bloody, round, flesh and bone ball. And then I let it go.
So there's just a thud, and he drops to the ground. And you're all like, looking at one another. You maybe feel a little queasy sick to your stomach after also being thrown from the streets and into here instantly.
I'm gonna roll my cost real quick. That shouldn't affect me. No, I'm fine.
Wow.
That was really impressive. So you took care of this quietly, other than like a slight thud of him crashing to the ground.
I do believe that Gregor will be all right now.
Oh my.
Yes.
Sergeant Morse, do you want to help me with this blob? I guess put him in the closet somewhere.
Sure.
I apologize. I overtaxed myself a little bit and overreacted
No.
to the risk. But
Leo, that was like, you're my hero. It's amazing.
to make me blush, there, Sergeant Morris.
This is good work. Look at this. Like, he's like a little bit bigger than a basketball, but okay, just for a second, Gregor. I mean, I promise you we will put him up. There you go. Now toss it back.
Heavy.
Good boy.
Very, very heavy.
Yes, and Gregor was looking for an empty room, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So this room is empty
Oh,
This
very
room is
good.
empty.
Very good. Thank you.
because you spent the momentum and
There is-
everything. So I was gonna be like, we're gonna roll to see if there's somebody in this room, but
Sure.
no, Gregor was specifically. You spent the momentum. This room is empty. There's no patients in here. There are beds in here, but nobody's in them.
It seemed as though this one was patrolling. I'm not sure if there are others up here that are doing the same. But we should be quiet, careful. And we all saw the bodies that they were bringing in. I don't know if they would be bringing them to a second floor or to the morgue, but
I will say, the bodies, there were 4 of them that there was something wrong with their faces. The mandible or such was not human in appearance, to me at least.
Would have been around their nose and mouth protruding. It's
Almost
the best way to
almost
describe
like a muzzle protruding under the wraps of some sort.
But other than that, the body looked 2 arms, 2 legs, like human from everything else you saw, you judged.
it was very alarming.
Perhaps we should take a closer look at those bodies. This may be something to do with what we are here for in the first place.
Yeah, I missed that.
Ruby and Jonathan just like, what?
I mean, okay. Hey, look, the man who squeezes another man into a ball of bloody pulp. I listen to what you say.
Again, Sergeant Morris, you're too kind. It was nothing.
I am kind. It's true.
You are in your own way.
Sure. So, yeah, I agree. I want to see that for myself. Maybe we take a look, put myself in the mindset like if I was somebody sent to sweep this place and I've got sensitive material like that, maybe guess where their patrol goes so we can pick them off one by one.
Yeah.
Perhaps we could also check some of these other rooms up here, see who is actually in here. Is this really a hospital, or is this a front for some sort of experimentation?
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would explain why there was like nobody here.
Yes.
Right. Okay. We need to have a cover. I mean, Sergeant Morris and we obviously can't speak Italian or German or anything like that, and it is a huge red flag to the locals here when we speak English. So what can we do? Like I mean, I know the rudimentaries of sign language, but I mean nothing.
You start coughing. Oh, we're in hospital. You sound sick.
Like it. Okay.
Nobody at the party speaks Italian.
I speak the old kinds, Latin.
Yeah, the
very gist of a conversation.
The dead language kind. So you got a dead. Speaking of dead, you got a dead German lying here just inside the room. What do you want to do, this German soldier?
Is there a closet or something like that in here, or is the ball compact enough that we could put it underneath the bed?
Yeah, like is he pressing to a ball, or is he?
It would be like a crushed 150-pound meat sack of sorts.
Could it fit in the baby carriage?
I mean, at this point, I may as well just put the shield on my back.
Oh God.
Perhaps we just.
That is a great question. I love it. I'm so
doing
much.
it, Ruby. I love your ideas so much. I'm putting the shield on. This is our new baby boy.
You're gonna get some blood on you picking this meatball up, this raw meatball.
It's okay. You're in
No, that is not a problem. And Leo reaches out and lifts it up with his telekinesis and drops it in the baby bag.
the basket just kind of like shunters under the weight.
Do you want me to roll for that? Or?
Yes, please roll for that. It can fail. I want to have a giant fleshy meatball roll down the hallway and down the stairs. I really want it to fail.
Difficulty one because it's based on size, so we actually are up to 5 momentum.
Oh my goodness, Aaron's rolling crazy tonight. Holy
shit. Beautiful.
Excellent.
This is how I have spent my entire life training to do.
To make meat babies. That's great training.
A credit to your fields.
Not have thought of it like that, Sergeant Morris, but yeah.
We'll say there's a German helmet left lying there, a pair of black combat boots, and an MP40 is all that's left lying on the ground.
Would someone like this weapon of his?
Well, do you have any inside travel left? Just strap it to his back. I have nowhere to carry it, and I don't think I'd feel comfortable carrying that through a hospital.
I mean, I'm glad to carry it if you want, but Greg seems to really want it, and I trust him.
No, he's too young.
For the MP40? We need a picture now of a marmot like holding a MP40.
Well, I mean, one day he will grow up to drive tanks, so I can't wait. I'm gonna listen at the door, and if everything's okay, just sort of kind of slowly pick it open to see what I can see.
Yeah. let's do that. Go ahead and just do a insight observation. If you have hearing, we'll use hearing. But
no, I'm sorry, I cannot hear a thing. No. Oh wait, I'm sorry. That was agility. My bad. Let's see. It still would have been a fail with those two.
Okay. So you can't really make out. You can hear this kind of like muffled talking, coming from this hallway. Not necessarily the hallway, but like from possibly rooms nearby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's all in Italian. You don't understand a word they're saying, but it doesn't sound. I'll give you this. Like, even though you failed, it doesn't sound like it's like someone like alert and angrily like charging down the hallway or marching or anything like that. It just kind of seems like normal chatter.
Okay.
Is what you hear.
Can I, just to be safe, burn a momentum to tap into
Yeah.
my polyglot ability just to get the gist of the conversation?
Sure.
That's
fine.
Burn a momentum.
Definitely.
So it sounds like hushed whispers and people speaking like in adjacent beds, asking like, what is the ruckus? What's going on? Did you see that German soldier? Where did he go? What was he looking for? Did you hear that thud? What could that have been? Somebody should call a nurse and get her up here to take a look.
I think people are alerted to our presence. At the very least, they heard the thud of the creature. They might want to call a nurse. We should move quickly. We should maybe intercept them. Pretend to be the nurse.
I am a nurse. I am a nurse.
Perfect.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
You need to acquire a nurse's uniform.
This is true, but also you only speak English.
Yeah, but it's at night, so I'll just shush everyone. It'll work.
Yes. This is perfect plan.
There are 2 beds in this room. I'm going to say laying on each bed is a hospital gown when you kind of look around. Other than that, there's not really anything in here other than a couple of beds and gowns. Looks like nobody's used this room. It's prepared and ready for patients to come in here, but it's not being used currently.
Well, there's nothing in here. I can't pretend to be a patient.
So okay, Pavel will put on the German soldier helmet.
Okay. Yes.
He will open up the neighboring door where we heard what was going on, only showing his head in the helmet. Not so like, and he will just say,
it's kind of like your
German.
eyes and the top of the
Yes.
helmet.
He will say in German, he will just say, quiet. And that is it.
Are you saying it like hushed, or are you saying
I'm saying it like I'm a German soldier who doesn't want to hear.
Oh, so it's like an order is what
like,
you're.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
To these people. I might not speak Italian, but I can speak German. And I have a German helmet on, and they can only see.
And I'm wearing a German helmet, so give it to me. Yeah. Let's do persuasion. Let's do
Intimidation.
Yeah, we're gonna do intimidation, and we're gonna use. They can only see the top of your helmet and your eyes. Let's use will for this. You're gonna impose your will upon them.
I will burn a momentum just to be sure.
Sure, and it's gonna be a only the eyes and the top of the head, eh? 2 difficulty.
Now you're just being mean. How about
it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. Go ahead, give yourself a momentum
back.
And you can hear like hushed whispers and people shushing one another in rooms. You can't understand what they're saying, but you get the gist of like, all right, they're listening.
Okay. And I will turn back to, as I close the door, I'll turn back to everyone else and I will go quietly thumbs up.
That was a way better plan.
No, you would have been great.
Stop it. I'm gonna go over and grab the patient's gown and just kind of like stick it down my dress.
Okay. Okay. Sure. You do it. All right. So you grab a gown.
Yeah, this might come in handy. I'm just saying.
All right. What's the plan from here? You look out the window and you can't really see around the rear of the building here, but it looks like you still see the front of the truck poking out. So the truck's still there, and you can hear some talking in and around the truck area from here. You can hear the soldiers talking to one another.
Is it loud enough for Leo or I to hear?
Sure. Well, make me an insight observation. I'll give it to you hearing if you have it. 1 difficulty. I'm just giving you guys momentum tonight, aren't I?
Yes.
All right, so between the two of you catch snippets of the conversation, and it talks about how this is the latest corpses coming from the Castel Sant'Angelo construction site. You can tell by the general like back and forth that they're not happy about something that's going on there. You can't make out what. It's quite unclear, but they seem rattled in their speech. They seem shaken by whatever is going on over there. And and these are not the first corpses to be coming from that site.
Perhaps we should try to see if we can quietly make our ways downstairs and see what is actually going on in this hospital.
We need to see those corpses, I think.
Agree.
With that, all of a sudden down the hallway, coming up the stairs, you hear, Hans, where are you? Shouting down the, Hans, we are ready to go back. Where are you? Is the sweep complete?
And English, Matt, or is that German or
It's in
Italian?
German. Hans, where are you?
Are we visible where we're
No,
at?
you're
Or are
back.
we,
You went back. You still, I said you went back in the room and you closed the door, so
Okay,
you're not
yeah,
visible. You
so
hear this,
in
so
German,
Leopold and
we'll
Pavel
just say,
understand, and he's not being quiet about it. He's shouting from the stairs up the hallway.
Ich bin here. I would just call out, like, this is where I'm here, from the room.
Okay. Oh, Hans, where are you? We're ready to go back. Please come back to the truck.
Ich bin here, and then I'll ask him to come give me. I don't know how to. My German is very rusty. It's been like 20 years since I spoke it regularly. So I will tell him to come here and give me a hand with something really quick.
Okay.
And I will motion to Sergeant Morris and Brun and Ruby to like be ready as like he's coming in.
You can hear like hushed whispers are breaking out in the various rooms around you.
He's nosy Italian.
You can hear footfalls coming closer and closer to Hans, which room are you in?
Ich bin here.
And I'll sit on the bed, cross my legs, and hike my dress up a little bit.
I'm so ready to hit this guy in the back of the head when he's not expecting it.
Like
a hero.
Sure. So you just like pull like your arm out in the hallway and like waving him to over it to show him which room you're in.
Here. Yep.
All right. Everything okay with the sweep, Hans?
Yeah. That is good.
What seems to be the trouble?
Something strange by the window. You might want to take a look at this. It's possible that it was intruder or something. Come here.
Right away, Hans. He's gonna make his he's believing it is Hans, so he's making his way down the hallway. It is Swedish chef.
It does sound like Swedish chef. Orgy, come.
All I can see is the chef.
So you hear his footfalls getting closer and closer. Is the door closed or open at this point?
I think I just put my hand out to wave, so I'll probably close it to the point where make sure it's dark in here, no lights on, etc. And I'll step out of the way, so like Sergeant Morris is by the door. Right?
Hans, why'd you turn off the lights?
The lights are not working in here. I do not know why.
Okay. All right. He's gonna get closer, and the tip of an MP40 kind of pokes through the crack of the door and starts to creak it open slowly.
I love to pull it forward with one hand and then shove the shield into his throat with the other.
Okay, let's do this. Let's do this.
All right. So let's see.
Hans, no.
Yeah.
All right, and since it's the first time I've engaged, I get the extra dice.
I haven't. Oh. Do you want a complication or give me the threat? We actually get into real combat. This is gonna be great. Threat?
Complications.
Do you guys want to do complication or just do threat?
Whatever you like, man. I'm good either way.
I kind of want this to be messy. I'm really sorry,
Let's
but I
do it.
kind of do.
Let's do it, man.
So you grab for the MP40, and
I pull him forward. I go to smack. I do get the hit off.
you do get the hit off, but his finger pulls the trigger, and all of a sudden, like, bullets just dance across the floor of the
Perfect.
room. So all of a sudden, gunfire erupts, and you can hear screams and gasps and everything in all the rooms near you, and people shouting and crying out for help. So yes, gunfire has gone off. The element of stealth is no longer here.
Oops.
Ooh. I'm assuming Jonathan really says, oops.
Oh, come on. So he'll take 4 damage, and then I think it's resolved that he needs 3 or better to not be stunned.
Resolve of 3 or better. He does not have that.
So resilient.
Resilience,
Resilience,
but he
sorry.
doesn't have a resilience of 3 or better either. So he's stunned
Mm-hmm.
and 4 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, very good. That last attack, I went through the armor on it, but this one is going to be affected by armor. So some of his armor did soak up some of this damage that you dealt to him. And all of a sudden, machine gun fire goes off, and everybody's panicking. You can hear the soldiers that were at the back door that were talking. All of a sudden, they're, oh, what's going on? Gunfire! And they're rushing into the building where you can hear the doors kind of like bang, bang, as it's kind of slammed back and forth. As guys are running into the hospital. All right. We are in combat. So you guys went first. It is technically my turn, but he is stunned. And there's no other enemies nearby. So it's back to you guys for the remainder of this round.
I can invoke Inner Nirvana to once again link us all and basically give us a field of protective energy around us, if you guys would like.
Right ahead.
It lasts for 5 rounds, so it might time out before we're done, but it'll help a little bit.
Oh, you give me that, I'll just jump out the window and go straight to the truck.
Can I use a point of momentum?
Use all the momentum you want.
You guys have enough of it.
That's such a
One.
good spell.
Oh, 5
Gosh,
successes.
Aaron.
Oh,
you are so on
You're
fire.
Oh my
rolling
God.
crazy tonight.
Only needed 2, so I'm going to use 2 of those momentum. We still get our 1 momentum back. I'll use the other 2 momentum to increase the effectiveness of the cover to equal to my psychic power. So we all have cover of 5 on top of whatever your normal cover is. And every round on your turn, you recover stress. Hold on, listen.
Now I truly know how Jeff feels in Deadlands. This is like the equivalent
This is
of what
Bluetooth
Jeremy...
field. This is the Bluetooth field.
Yeah, you recover stress equal to your resilience at the beginning of every one of your rounds. So,
Oh my God.
so for
You
5
are
rounds-
jumping out of the window, aren't you?
I have 12 armor now, and I recover 4 points every turn. After 12 armor, I'm jumping out the window. You're damn right.
Oh, absolutely. Like, if everybody's coming upstairs, maybe we should make a quick exit downstairs, if you know what I'm talking about, and take this gentleman with us.
They'll never see it coming. No sane person would do it.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
Ruby, you're the best.
All right, so what's the plan now? He's stunned, so he's not down. He will be able to act next round. So we've cast that spell. I can't do anything this round. There's no enemies that are going to enter. Do you want to do anything else with this soldier before he's up and on his feet next round?
Yeah.
Push
I
him out the
mean,
window.
if I'm going
You
to jump
could-
out the window, just carry him with me.
Yeah.
So does somebody
Land
want to
on
use their
top of
actions
him.
to prep
Let
him
him
like
go
like
first.
hang him out the window as your action this round, sort of thing?
Yeah, I'll go over and open the window and make sure there's nobody directly below.
Sure. You look down, and there's nobody down there. It looks like all of the soldiers that were near the truck at the rear. From what you can see, you couldn't really see around the corner, but you don't see anybody milling about over there, and you don't hear any voices over in that direction anymore. So you just you're gonna prop him like half out the windowsill, like his upper torso's hanging out, and his legs are hanging into the room.
Absolutely.
So like Sergeant Morris can just like bulldog him out the window.
Yes.
All right. Pavel, what do you want to do? Hans.
Pavel, I think, I mean, Pavel's not gonna be the first to jump out the window. I think what Pavel will do is ready an action.
Okay.
He will. So I will take so I'll do like minor action to cast a spell. So I'll do like my prep, but then I'll ready to cast a spell. If I see any more of the German soldiers running up through the hallway, I will have a spell ready to go the minute I start seeing.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
Hans, why would you do this to me?
Es tut mir leid.
Okay, so let's fast forward to the next round. You guys have all taken your actions. You get to go first. That poor soldier is coming to. He's trying to he's raising his head. He sees my head is out the window. Who wants to go first?
I mean, you already called it. It's a
Sorry.
bulldog.
You're bulldogging him out the window. Grab him.
Yes, I am.
Oh, we tried to look at falling damage previously. We didn't. Oh, you know where I found it? It was in the previous module we did. That's where the rules for falling damage was. I'm just gonna let's do something on the fly here. I'll just roll. It's only 2 stories. Roll some dice here and see what happens. Do 2d6. 2 points of damage as you thud down onto the ground, dragging the soldier out with you. I'm assuming you're landing on him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me your damage with your shield.
Okay.
The brunt force of your shield coming down on him and the force of the ground. I'll give you that 2 extra bonus damage that I did to you. That'll automatically happen to him, but go ahead and roll your damage with your shield as well. 5. Yeah. He's like a bloody pulp on the ground. You just hear bones crack and break as the 2 of you hit. You fall down like on your feet, and he just thud down beside you. You're holding him on the way down. You slam him in the ground. You take your shield and bash it into him, and you're now standing on the streets. They're clear, but you can hear there is commotion coming from inside the hospital. It's mostly coming from the sounds of it from the front door. You're kind of like on the side of the hospital, we're going to say. You're in between the front and the back, where you guys were watching, observing where this took place. So you can hear most of the commotion coming from the front and nothing from the rear where that truck is parked and there was previously guards there and Germans in black shirts. I guess it's my turn, unless somebody wants to spend momentum to take the turn from me and go next. It's up to you guys.
Nope, I got my ready.
Dude, Harry, today was the best.
Okay, so you're watching the hallway, right?
Yeah, I'm
Pavel?
waiting until I see some of these German soldiers pop into view.
Yep. So because it's in turn, it's like one at a time sort of thing. So all of a sudden, you're watching the stairway. The stairway, zigzags back and forth. You're on the top floor, and you see like a helmet pop up and like an MP40 like pointing between like the rails at the top of these stairs, and kind of like he's just barely peeking up. And he is gonna try to fire. But did you have something prepped that would trigger when you saw him?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So go ahead and do that.
So I'm going to cast my Horn of Niet. So I will summon up a very fearsome-looking horn and a very low, begins to travel down the hallway. The arm rails of the staircase will suddenly animate and turn into these roots and things that begin to flap around and wrap around him.
Okay.
As I'm trying to trap him and anyone else I can see with it. So just double checking something. I will burn. I'll do my weird stuff again. I'll take 1 momentum just to be safe. And okay. That's a success in that I only needed a 1.
Okay.
So he's going to. Sorry, it's been a while since I cast.
Nope,
this
it's
one.
all good. It's been a while since we've played this also in combat and all that, so.
So I gotta roll my power, which should be 6 from the other thing. I'll burn that extra. Actually, I'll burn that extra momentum I just got to make sure this is.
I was
pretty bad.
saying over on the Modifius Discord that we really lean into the pulp in our game. I think his combat is really shows that, don't you?
Oh, yeah.
7 damage. All right. So what happens here? 7 damage. Is it piercing or anything like that? I know there's no
No.
effects rolled, so it's just 7 straight damage it's going to take, and it's from the railings kind of like branching out and grabbing him and squeezing him.
I think nothing is actually going to happen.
Okay.
Because this isn't a damaging spell. I need to roll effects, but what do I got to spend to reroll? Is it fortune or is it momentum to reroll damage? Or
It's
effects?
fortune.
All right, I'll do that. Yeah. So, because that's a terrible roll.
Yeah, fortune point can be spent to reroll any number of dice in the character's dice pool.
Okay.
You
that's
can
good.
use momentum for bonus damage.
Okay.
Okay, so 2 effects.
Yeah. So basically, they need to. So what is like the? It's probably not even gonna work now. What's their athletics score?
Athletics is a 2.
Okay, so yeah, he's fine because like I didn't roll enough effects, so his 2. So like they pop up and he's able to break through them basically.
Okay, so yeah, it's just, and he kind of
Terrible
shouts, and oh, what is going on, Hans? And all right, he's now gonna try and shoot at you. Why does this guy not have an MP40? Bear with me. An MP40 needs to be dropped on his character sheet quickly here. He's not gonna use a car down the hallway. That's silly. All right, so this is close quarters. This weapon, so it's gonna be a difficulty 2 for me. This roll to hit you because you are not at close quarters technically. You're down the hallway, further away from him. So I'm gonna spend some threat. I'm gonna spend a couple threat and get a couple extra dice here to try and hit you. That is 2 successes, which I needed. And let's roll let's use some more of that threat on damage. Because I'm sitting on a pile of threat here. And let's see what happens. 5 damage. As this MP40 unleashes, you see tracers going down the hallway. You can hear the bullets pinging and hitting walls all around you. He just starts to unload. After he sees the railing reach out at him, he's kind of panicking and just unloads down the hallway.
And it does nothing as it's
Because you have 5
absorbed
5
by the
cover.
Bluetooth.
So
Yes.
the bullets hit you, but they seem to just kind of like dissipate as they hit you, and you're shocked. You look down, you're like amazed.
I will look at him, the roots and stuff coming back into my face because they were already busted out from being weird. I'm like, do you think you can damage a god?
So does that count as your action for this round now? That one that you had prepped, Pavel? You don't get to act again this round?
No.
I'll say no, because otherwise you'd get 2 and 1. I can't remember even.
It's 2 and 1, but it's also 0 and another.
That's
so.
true. That's true.
No, it's whatever you want.
Okay. We'll
I'm
say
just
that.
going through the shorthand. It just says ready. I'm not sure if it doesn't say the difference between turns or rounds, I should say.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you an action this round, but it'll be the last one.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so who wants to go next? It's your guys' turn.
So since Leo's still up there, he'll look around the corner after he saw the bullets strike the field that connects us, and he will once again reach out with his mind and try to grasp this guy in a telekinetic vice hold.
Sure, and you just see the one German soldier so far, and you know there were more because you saw them at the rear of the building. You know there's black shirts and Nazis.
So I'm gonna use a point of momentum if that's okay, guys.
Wow, you're generating it like a beast tonight, so.
Let's hope so. Yep,
My
4
God,
successes. So
How are you doing this? How are you doing this? Oh,
So-
man.
1
Wow.
to hit, 2 to crush. So we get 1 back, and yeah, I crush him. So he takes. Let me roll this.
This is your night tonight with the rolling.
Tried to set this up.
This is exciting, though. I know this is very exciting. This whole combat, I'm enjoying it, even though my guys are getting wrecked.
So he takes 4 damage.
Okay.
Piercing 2 though, so it's piercing 2.
Okay, so ignores 2 points of armor.
Yep.
Perfect. That's not enough to kill him, but
And he's still helpless. He's still held helpless for
a long time.
So he's. What do you mean helpless?
He's held telekinetically helpless,
Okay.
unable to move or take any actions
Gotcha.
for 5 rounds, or until I release him.
5 rounds.
Oh my
Okay.
God.
So he's like, he's screaming. There's blood, kind of like flowing out of wounds that are opening up all around him, and he's just kind of stuck there. He's
Crushing
dropped his
slowly.
MP40. He's screaming in pain.
Going full Vader on him.
All right, my turn. Unless you guys want to spend the momentum to jump in, but you don't see any other enemies at this point. Just to give you guys an idea, there is only one stairwell up and down here, and that's the one at the front of the building, and that's the one that they're coming up through. So, my turn. A black shirt pokes his head up and sees I guess Pavel and Leopold at this point. Those are the only two in the hallway. And he's going to attempt to take a shot. What does he have for weapons? Let's see here. What does the black shirts have?
Matt, just a random question.
Yes.
Would he not also take stress because he sees his buddy hanging in midair, dripping blood? I'm just asking.
Just asking for a friend.
Yep.
I will get him to roll. That's a good point. And he will roll a will resilience test. That's what you guys typically roll also, to not take mental stress. So I will roll that for him. And I will make it public. And he got a critical success. So he sees this and he's enraged as he charges up the stairs. All right, and he's got a Modelo 1891 rifle, effective range medium. Great, not a close range weapon this time. And he's gonna aim down the hallway, and he's going to 1-2 is Pavel, 3-4 is Leopold. Pavel, he's gonna attempt to try and shoot you. Let's spend some more threat and buy another die. He only needs 1 success on this because of the range on this gun. And I got a complication. But it succeeded. It succeeded with a complication.
So did he run past his friend to fire? Is he
He's standing like, so remember
behind?
how I said they were kind of like just coming to the top or the crest of the stairs? So he's standing like next to him.
Okay.
And they're just
All right.
like peering up at you, shooting down the hallway.
Good to know.
I'm going to give you guys some momentum for that. And I'm going to try to hit you.
Okay.
Oh, no, I hit you. I'm going to try and do some damage. Sorry. 3 damage to effect. There are no effects on this gun. It's only got qualities. So 3 damage to do nothing. Again, they hit you and the bullets just dissipate with this magical armor that you're wearing. Back to you guys.
I'm gonna yell from the window. Come on, close the door. Let's go. And I'm gonna effectively jump out the window.
Okay. You don't have 12 armor though, do you?
What do I've got 5 plus my regular stress.
5 plus your regular armor.
Oh gosh, no, I have 7.
Okay, I'm gonna roll the same for you for falling damage.
Sure.
You take 6 points of falling damage, so subtract.
So 0?
Is it just Nick? All right, so you hit the ground with a thud. All of a sudden,
3-point landing.
boom,
Man.
on your feet as well,
Superhero.
right next to Jonathan, with a thud, and the two of you are side by side in the streets. And you can also hear shouting and like a state of like disarray near the front of the hospital, but the rear is clear. I'm gonna say you can start to hear shouting in the streets at this point. I know you're on a smaller island, and you can hear distant, like sirens. Like don't want to say like a police siren, like almost like alarms. Like somebody's like trying to rally troops or police or something. You can hear a siren in the distance starting to go off. Back to me. Yeah. All right, another black shirt's going to appear in the stairwell. And this time we're going to try and shoot Leopold, because we tried to shoot
That's fair.
Pavel last time. Spend a threat. Yes. It's a hit. A critical. I'm going to give myself some threat here. I'm going to spend that threat to do some extra points of damage. Possibly. Potentially. Not the way I'm rolling tonight. And it does not. So again, the bullets hit you right in your body, shooting at you with the Modelo 1891, and they just dissipate as they're about to hit you and disappear. I have one more German left. He's going to go up the stairs. Also, same thing. Fire down there with his MP40. 1-2 is Pavel. 3-4 is Leopold. He's going to attempt to try and hit you with his MP40. I'm going to buy him an extra die because of the distance. That is a success because he needed 2 successes to hit you. Let's potentially buy some more damage. Again, 4 damage does nothing to you. And what do you have a resilience higher than 2?
Yes. My
All right,
resilience
so-
is 5.
So you are not stunned either. You are not stunned, and you are not affected by these bullets as they spray at you. And the soldiers themselves, the black shirts and the Germans, are almost like they're in disbelief. They're looking at each other. They're talking to one another. Like you can hear a German like he's like, I hit him. The other one's sitting there clutching his head, screaming, "Ah!" Okay, we're gonna go back to the top of the turn order. So,
I think Pavel, he said, was going to get a turn at the end.
oh, I'm sorry. Yes, that's right. Go ahead,
Yeah.
Pavel.
I told you. You cannot hurt a god. Or gods. And I will cast a spell. I hear Ruby calling, but it's spellcasting night here on Gar Black Games. So why not cast another, right? They already heard us. So I will just hold my hands out, and from it, these tiny little swirls of wind will begin to form, and I will just go. And on top of every single one of them, because they're all right next to each other, and I will go ahead and summon a cyclone
Okay.
right on top of them.
I'll say
And
the
going to-
ones inside the hospital, Leopold and Pavel, you hear the shouting in the streets. You
Oh,
can
yeah.
hear the distant sirens. You all hear this right now. It's not super immediate though, but word is getting out. This firefight that has broken out in the hospital.
I
We
am
may have
going
to steal
spend
the
some-
bodies and the truck and make our escape.
I'm going to spend some momentum.
Shit.
Just for funsies.
Just for funsies.
I'm
It's
also
nice of
gonna
me
tap
that I
into
gave you some
weird-
momentum with my roll.
Okay.
I've been spending a lot of
Complicated.
threat.
Successes, though.
Take a threat. Go ahead. You
2
just
threat.
deserve it.
2 threat.
And then I needed 2 successes, so I'm going to go ahead and just put us back up to 6. So this cyclone's going to form. I'm going to tap into my summoner ability, which allows me to control it. So I'm going to spend 2 of that momentum to control this thing. So it's not just going to move wherever. It's going to move wherever I want if I want it to move. So it's going to summon right on top of them.
Didn't this happen last time you cast this spell? You basically could just move this giant cyclone wherever you wanted.
My casting is very I need to put a lot of investment of momentum into my spells to get them to work. They're very hard
It's
to
a
cast.
hell of a roll.
sometimes.
Everybody's rolling very, very well tonight.
So then I'm going to So basically it spawns right on top of them. It's going to cover all 4 of them.
They're all
at
clumped
this point?
together. It's 5, but one of them's the one
Okay.
clutching the head. So 3 Germans and 2 black shirts. I think that's what we did. I think that's what I had. But there are 5 soldiers total. I'm gonna say they're all in it because they're all clumped together. So yeah, what happens? So are they thrashed around? Are they
So
thrown
now,
against the?
now it gets its own turn. The cyclone gets its
Okay.
own turn. Okay. So it goes. And so now I roll, and I'm gonna burn a couple extra momentum here, and I'm just gonna burn a ton of momentum, guys. I want to see if I could just
Do it.
Yeah,
crush
do it.
through all of
Please,
them.
please
Take
do.
take these guys out in one.
How much do you want me to
fell
spend? I spent 2. I can spend it. I can keep going. It's up
as
to
much
It's
as you
to me.
want.
Yeah.
Even the
take
GM's cheering you on to
You've
just
got 5
annihilate these guys.
people in your grasp.
4 plus 6 is 10 plus 11. Okay, so I'm rolling. So the cyclone is now rolling 11 d6s.
Beautiful.
So I'm just gonna I'm gonna roll it from my thing, but it's going to have piercing 1 and stun on this as well. So I'm going to. All right. So
I want to see you now. This was not a planned combat. This was due to a complication. So let's see you just. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
10 damage and 5
Oh,
effects.
So all of a sudden the cyclone appears and starts thrashing these guys into the stairwell wall, which is of course brick or concrete or whatever would have been at that time to be fireproof, and they're just being turned into hamburger meat. There's blood splattering all over the walls. They're screaming for their lives. They drop their weapons, just being pounded over and over and over again, and swirled up. Some they're being thrown up onto the like ceiling and slamming into the ceiling, going through the plaster of the ceiling. And
eyes will go like bright and glowing. I'll have like my skin will be tearing away from it. Leaves and like branches are reaching out, and I'm just speaking in some old like druidic language, chanting with sort of syllabic sounds that just make no sense to the modern ear. And anybody else would be taking 5 points of mental stress, but because it's Leo, I think Leo's probably just fine. As this is all happening.
Yeah, my courage is way higher than that.
Not to approach a god.
It's probably a good thing the other two jumped out the window and didn't witness this.
Yes, it is.
That would have been okay. Just barely.
Okay, and that is that's my turn and the Cyclone's turn.
That was bad.
I'm still alive.
Combat is over. You can hear screaming and shouting all over this floor and the floor below. What do you guys want to do? We're split up, half and half. 2 of you are in here. 2 of you are down on the street.
Pava, I must say that escalated very quickly. That was so impressive. We have an opportunity. We must sit down and compare notes. But I think we can just take the stairs now. It'll be a little messy, but we should be able to get down there, no problem.
He'll agree and start to stuff, but he'll like spit like dirt and leaves and. I believe you are right, my friend. And I will just cough it all out.
Leo pats him on the back. Very impressive. My father is on his way to Rome to tutor me a bit. He has got to meet you. He'll be fascinated by what you can do.
I would be very intrigued to meet him. He feels very drained. So, are there? Do we hear any more coming, Matt? Like, could we go down?
So the sound of soldiers, distinct sound of soldiers, and no, because you guys understand German. I know you don't understand Italian, but like you know the difference between someone shouting and yelling and throwing out orders. You don't hear that anymore. That is all silenced.
Okay. I will move the Cyclone to the side and let us pass through.
Ruby.
Perhaps we should get the
steal the truck.
bodies and steal the truck, yes.
Yes. It's a wonderful idea.
Absolutely.
That was an amazing jump, by the way. You are just an inherent, like, legitimate, natural talent badass.
Oh,
So good at this.
If one of the others would have said that, I would have said they were blowing some hot air. But when coming from you, Sergeant Boris.
No, I don't bullshit. Like, you are fucking crazy. I love it.
All right.
Let's steal this truck. I was really hoping there's gonna be someone we could kill, but I'll steal.
Well, we could always go in the back door.
It's true. Let's get the truck. I want to see these mandibles they're talking about.
That's right. I totally forgot. So yeah, I'll stealthily go around the truck. And
You want to stealth? Or rolling
course it-
stealth here?
Of course I am.
Oh yeah, you're really good at this. Difficulty 1, difficulty 3 for you. No, difficulty 1. It'll be coordination, stealth.
It's my best.
Oh my god, Megan! That could have been more perfect. Oh
my god.
So I
Every time.
Do you want to give me threat?
no, let's get the complication it is.
Oh my god.
I love this.
So you're
So
stealthing around
good.
the building, huh?
I'm stealthing around the back of the truck because I'm going to check to see if there's anybody in the back of the truck. And I've got like my thumb knife out and I'm
Oh my god, does one of these creatures attack her?
see.
Amigo comes out of the truck.
Yeah, no. You get back there, and you're positive it's the coast is clear. You don't see, like, you poke your head around the corner. It appears like all the soldiers and the guard is gone also. And you get to the back of the truck and you start peering in, and it's empty. But that's when you hear a sound behind you, and there's a doctor, like he's wearing a gown, he's got a cap on his head, he's wearing a mask over his face, sees you, and he starts shouting in Italian at something, because you don't speak Italian, and sees you and starts shouting down the hallway from down this back door. He's like peering out the back door and sees you and starts shouting down this hallway to others.
So I'll rush up to him and go, shh, 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 prego, 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 prego. Shh.
There you go.
I love it. I love it so much. It's so great. Megan, you're the best. I love it.
I like trying to like confuse the like out of him, right? To get him to be quiet, and yeah. In the meantime, like I'm gonna kick him in the groin.
Yes, I love it. See here, prego, 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 and then bam, kick to the junk. I think Jonathan Morris would really approve.
I do. Seriously, Ruby's the best.
Ruby is the best.
He's
All
gonna
right,
die.
go ahead and make me your melee attack. It's coordination fighting, right? Remind me.
Athletics.
Athletics fighting. Thank you. No, coordination athletics. Sorry, right? Coordination though.
Athletics coordination.
Yep.
Thank
do
you.
that. Yes.
Yeah, that's all you need was a 1. Roll me a d6 for damage. Okay, 6 damage to the junk. And did you get it?
Hell of a kick.
I'm gonna give it the stun effect, even though you didn't roll effect and all that. It's so he drops to the ground. And he's just kind of like immobilized. He's just lying there in pain. He can't speak. He's just kind of twitching in pain. But you know he's shouted down this hallway to someone else. So as you approach, like you walk to this door and you walked like into it, it looks like it leads into the basement of the hospital, and he's lying there, and you know that he's shouted down this hallway to others. Something. You don't know what he shouted. But this leads into a basement.
Oh gosh. Sergeant Morris, I don't know. I feel like there's nothing in the back of the truck. How are you at hot wiring vehicles?
You know, just pulling up my sheet here. Gonna assume C.
What's it's gonna be mechanics?
Yeah, engineering and
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah, agreed.
You know, I've punched an engine out of a motorcycle once. Hot wiring, not so much.
Well, why don't you escort the nice doctor on the ground over there into the back of the truck, and I'll give it a whirl.
Sure.
We're kidnapping the doctor. I love it.
Again, you can hear people shouting and screaming in the streets. You assume you don't have much time here.
So I'm going to use my lucky hairpin.
Yes, that's a truth. We introduced it. I remember.
What was it, Uncle Dan?
I don't know what you called it.
Your lucky. So, and you said engineering and what?
Reason.
Oh, you're using your hairpin to jump the car. Gotcha. Yeah, engineering reason. We'll do your engineering reason. And if you have a specialty in, I think there's mechanics, I believe.
Mechanical engineering, yeah.
Thank you.
I do not. So what does this truth do for me?
It's going to be a difficulty to. Normally, most normal people would not be able to jump a car with a hairpin, but we've introduced this truth that you're like a whiz with this thing, so it'll be a difficulty 2 to get this thing going, to jump it.
Gosh, you know what? I'm going to spend a fortune point.
Oh, nice.
do
Get
it.
a critical success, yeah.
So you take out, what is it, Uncle Dan? What did you call this thing?
It's my lucky hairpin.
Uncle Dan, take it out. You fiddle around with it into the ignition. You twist it, turn a little bit. You're like, oh, no, that's not right. That's not right. And all of a sudden, clicks and vroom, 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 vroom. This thing chugs and puffs black smoke out the back. So the diesel engine kicks in and you turn it over.
Whoa. Did you just hotwire that with a hairpin?
You know me. How's the doctor doing?
He's good. I never thought I'd feel so mundane. Like, what a night.
It has been a doozy. I hope those guys can hurry up, man.
I guess I'll play babysitter with the doctor here. You guys got this.
Yikes. So yeah, we'll just wait. I'm in the meantime. No, I'm not going to put on my patient certificate. I'm good.
Oh yeah, you've still got the gallon stuff down here. All right, are we going to the basement? The other two, what do you want to do?
I think we'd be walking downstairs and around to, because we would want to be recovering the bodies. So
right, so the stairwell leads down to the main floor, and the stairwell continues down, appears to a basement as well.
Yeah.
So do you want to go? You want to grab the bodies that are
at least one of the weird ones
at this point? Yeah.
So when we were going down to the first floor, did we see anyone immediately as we're kind of moving down? Is anyone?
You see a nurse screaming and shouting. She's at the desk and she's got a phone to her ear and she sees the two of you and she looks startled.
I'd say in German, "Do not worry, Fraulein. We have this under control. The situation is tentative, but we will take care of it. We are heading down to the basement to correct the issue right now."
And behind him, Pavel, like a little further up the stairs, will turn around as the cyclone's still active, and will say,
"This is still thrashing bodies."
we thank you for your time, Ser Nunos. We know we have no more need for you. You may go." And it just dissipates. Little pieces of German people fall off.
Just thud as it, pieces
down on the ground.
Hit the ground.
Wallpaper.
She doesn't seem to understand what either of you said, and she still seems very panicked.
Can I try Latin? Maybe she's the nurse. She's studied.
Yes, you could try Latin.
So I will try Latin.
You try speaking to her in Latin.
Yeah.
She looks even more confused. She kind of turns her head to the side.
Well, she calls herself an Italian. Doesn't even speak Latin. Okay, well.
I do not believe there's any. Yes, I do not believe we can stop this now. So let us get the bodies and find our friends.
That's what our Yankee Doodle friend would say. The cat is out of the bag, I think. So let us go.
That's a very interesting saying.
I don't know why anyone would, as we're saying this while we're talking, I don't know why anyone would put a cat in a bag and how that would possibly happen. They are a very ornery species.
Indeed. And this seems very cruel. I mean, can you imagine putting Greg in a bag that he did not want to go into?
Well, of course not. He picked out the wicker basket on his own. That we went to a proper merchant, and this is the one he preferred. So, abusive is what it is.
Crazy Americans. But we go down to the basement.
Yes.
Sure. So you keep heading down the stairs. The basement's like a long hallway. It's got lights all the way down it. The far end, you can see there's a door open and what appears to be a ruby at the other end of this hallway. And you assume that that's the back door to this place where the guards were standing. So Ruby, you also see them at the far end of this hallway. And there's just doors all the way down. Because this doctor shouted and alerted to them, you can hear voices shouting in Italian in a room 2 doors down from you, Ruby. Like, it's so the commotion is closer to Ruby than it is to Pavel and Leopold. So it's the opposite end of this long hallway. Otherwise, you don't hear anything else from any of the other rooms down here. They appear to mostly be storage rooms, just kind of like looking at what you judge from this basement.
By the way, everybody, at least 5 rounds have gone by, so that additional armor is no longer protecting you.
That was very effective, though. It's managed to keep me protected. I appreciate it very much.
It is my pleasure, as always, Pavel.
Yeah, man, 2 Hans.
Poor Hans is not alive anymore. All right. I realized that my cyclone actually did 5 additional damage on top of it because it's also vicious, so it did 15 points of damage to them.
Oh my god!
Just a blood blender up there.
It's a hospital. It's fine. They see this all the time.
All right. So, you're all gonna meet. I'm assuming you meet in the
Yeah.
hallway where the commotion's happening. You guys
Yes.
all meet up. There's a door. It's currently closed. None of you speak Italian, so you don't know what the label on any of these doors are. But you can hear scared voices on the other side of this one door. And again, it's
clearly,
speaking Italian only.
Should just kick the door in, right?
Yeah, you. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
All right, you kick the door in, and you're greeted by the sight of what appears to be a mortuary. And there's 6 trestle tables in here, several cabinets of equipment, movable lighting rigs, and a desk. And those 6 bodies that you saw brought in are on each of one of the 6 trestle tables. And you also see 2 you assume are doctors. They're wearing white gowns. They have blood smeared on them, and on their hands they got their caps on, and they've got face coverings on, and they're like cowering, like as the door kicks open and they see you.
Well, my friends, shall we just take the bodies, or do we want to take one of the doctors as well to question later?
We have a doctor and we have a truck, so we really only need a body.
Oh, wunderbar. Wunderbar. But let's get the bodies then.
So there are 4 with those protruding heads,
Yes.
and 2 that don't have them. And they're all covered up. They all have sheets over them.
So these doctors, they're like doing some sort of whatever it is these doctor type people do. But I imagine they take notes, right? Is there anything nearby where it looks like maybe they've been writing these sort of files,
Yes.
folders, anything like that?
Yes, there are. On the nearby desk, there's a microscope set up, and it looks like there's a bunch of samples lying there for the microscope. And there are also there are notes. There is like a dossier also open on the desk. It looks like they were in the middle of writing in next to this
In
microscope in Italian. Yes,
I will give you a threat to be able to.
I will just
Decipher.
feed you threat because it doesn't do anything to us. That's fair.
Did you
I'm
see
fine
my
with that.
cyclone? He crushed a person into a little ball. Like, we haven't even unleashed Sergeant Morris yet.
You don't
It's
need
true.
me. I mean, seriously, you guys, you got this.
Yeah, so the notes on the table, I'll take the threat. I'll add it on here shortly. Notes on the table, they detail that the corpses have all come. Like, there's dates going back like a week, 2 weeks, and there's just a log of corpses, and they seem to get, the numbers get greater and greater, and they all are coming from that archaeological site. You start flipping through them, and there's carefully annotated dissections and diagrams. And some of these diagrams, you see people, but as you're flipping through it, you also see like snake-like people. You see like the heads of a serpent, but like the body of a man, but covered in scales, and they have tails and claws. As you're flipping through this thing,
Would my occultism recognize that? Would I be able to recognize that using occultism?
make me a roll, and it'll be a 2 difficulty.
Can I assist him? Put the
Sure.
2 heads together.
Sure.
What do I do? Like, I do like 1 die, right? And then he gets to
Exactly. Yeah.
pass it.
Yeah.
And is it insight? Is it insight? What's
It'll
the,
be
stat?
insight. It'll be insight. Yeah.
Unfortunately, I was unsuccessful. I'm too
All right.
engrossed with some of these readings.
Let's see here. 2 successes.
Woo! So you've heard of like subterranean serpent people, rumors of them. You've never seen them yourself, but you've heard rumors of these things. You have heard also that they are tied somehow to some of the elder gods that you've heard rumors of. You've never found much text on the elder gods themselves, but this kind of validates some of the things you've heard. And that they're an ancient subterranean people, possibly even descendants from Atlantis. But you're not too sure. But you have seen these things before.
It's very interesting, my friends. I have seen similar diagrams of creatures in some of the texts from my school studies. They are perhaps linked to the elder gods and even maybe Atlantis. We should take all of this.
And specifically
Might
to the
again.
Yig. I'll give you that with your successes. They're tied to the Great Serpent Yig.
Atlantis again? Fascinating. This is not the first time we have heard this.
Right, like the statue thingies or whatever, right?
Yes.
Huh.
Just what are they after?
I don't know, but that place is horrible. I don't want to go there.
You want to go?
Atlantean is a very interesting language. I studied it for quite some time out of curiosity during my time along the coast. But now is not the time to discuss this. We should as Leo said, we should pack all this up and just grab these bodies and go.
The thing, that's my MO. I grab intel and I give it to people smarter than me.
Okay. Do you want the microscope? Like, what do you guys want?
Let's take all the samples, all of the paperwork.
They appear
You
to be
say-
blood samples, like on what are those called? I can't remember what they're called. But there's blood samples next to the microscope.
Oh, like little slides or something?
Yeah, thank you. Slides, whatever those are. And they're also outlined their findings on the plasma, the blood in that journal that you picked up or the dossier. And there's also measurements, physical measurements have been taken of all these creatures, their proportions and such.
I'm gonna pull off a sheet absentmindedly of one of the 6.
With the protruding
Yep.
snoots. All right, everybody, make me a difficulty 1 will resilience test, please.
Hey.
Difficulty 1.
And if
Can
we
I-
have discipline, that would apply, right?
Yes, it would.
Oh, then
You're all good.
Does having a focus.
Oh.
Ooh.
What's that do again?
Critical success. I'll take the 2 threat on this one.
Yeah.
Because there's not really a complication that's gonna happen other than like throwing up or something. It's a sight. You're like, this is like you seeing one of these things. Like, it's one thing to read in a book, but when Ruby pulls back the sheet, you see one of these serpent people underneath. It's kind of like, holy shit. Sorry, what were you asking, Jeff?
What does having a focus do again? I forget. I'm sorry.
It means that you critically succeed on a 19 or 20, doesn't it?
It depends on
Skill rank.
on the skill rank. So, like,
Okay.
I've got a resilience of 5. So, on discipline, I would critically succeed on a 1 through 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. All right.
So underneath, you throw the sheet back, and you're greeted by this horrific sight of a reptilian head with sightless black eyes. And you throw it back, and you see this scaled, sinuous body, complete with like a stunted tail wrapping around from the back, and clawed feet and a clawed hand. This one, looking at it, looks like it's got a stump where its other hand would have been.
Is it wearing clothing or is it naked?
No, it is naked. And you see there's it's riddled with bullet holes all over the corpse.
Random question. Do we know if it's a boy or a girl?
No. Yeah. Let's how do I determine the sex of serpent people? I guess you could make a biology roll. Let me see here. Looking at
You
it,
look at the
don't know.
shape and length of the tail to help decipher whether or not your
Let's
snake is male.
What do we got? Academics. Is there biology in there? I'm just looking at the different things.
There's science.
Medicine, science.
There's science, yeah.
Okay, we can do science. So it could be in reason, academia, and if you have focus in science. If you have a focus in science, that would help you, but otherwise it's going to be difficulty of 2 to try and
Does anybody?
determine the sex of these things.
Oh, I mean, sure, of course. How many you got for that?
Yeah, so you're all kind of just taken aback by the sight of this thing. You hear the sirens still in the streets. You hear the shouting on the floor above you, and you don't have
Actually-
time to sex this thing on the spot. You can take it back elsewhere and determine what it is, male or female, or if that's even a thing. Maybe both. You don't know.
I believe we should take one of the snake people, one of the normal looking rat bodies, and we should burn everything else in this room. We do not want them to have access to this information.
Including the doctors. See,
No.
And the
No,
patients
they can-
above?
Just in this room. We will tell them to evacuate the hospital.
In case the giant cyclone of death didn't already give them a heads up to do so.
It is a
Really?
cyclone of life, my friend. By moving seeds across the world, it is able to populate different biomes with plant life and tree life. It is the circle of life, the power of wind.
I saw this. It was a cyclone of blood. And
Yes, also
body
that
parts.
too.
The viscera.
Right. I mean, I suppose, like, it's how you use it. So, yeah.
It's in the way that you use it.
I gotta say thank you so much. I feel normal, and I haven't felt that in a while. Like this is nice.
Just pat him on the shoulder, and there's like I still have little bits of the Germans on me that I ripped up. I'm like, oh, it's fine. You are among friends. Oh,
Wow.
oh, sorry.
Oh, it's okay. It's all right.
Is there any like gas or anything in the room, Matt?
What kind of gas?
Flammable gas?
The explodey type?
Yeah.
Is there anything labeled with like a little flame symbol on it?
High or low, Megan? High or low?
High, of course.
Nope, there is not.
Very well.
It was a 50-50 shot.
Wait,
We
on
can
the
siphon
truck.
gas from truck. Yes. Look at us. Look at us. Great minds.
It's a
Okay,
well-oiled machine.
Let's go load up the truck and I don't know, Powell. Do you want to? I don't know. Who wants to set fire to this room? Let these poor doctors go.
Gregor.
Oh,
It's a perfect
good
ending to a
little boy?
perfect evening.
yeah.
Lighting
I'll
a
pull out
hospital
some
fire.
matches. Huh?
Powell,
Get
no,
some fumbles with him a little bit. Oh, he loves matches. You know, he had a smoking problem when I first met him when he was in the school. Like, he would smoke just all day. It was very terrible. And I told him, it's bad for you. He's like, the science is not there. But we had very long conversation. Now's not the time. We should catch up with this later. Okay. As I'm dragging one of these rat bodies, I'm saying all these things.
Snake bodies.
I think Gregor is on top of the body, just like letting as I drag it down the hallway. He's just like playing with it.
Okay. All right. So we're taking
So,
one serpent and one. You throw a sheet. The other one's a person.
Yeah.
You look at it. It looks like they got slash wounds on them. Is what killed them. But it's a regular person, human being. No.
Leo
snake
Leo
remnants.
just telekinetically lifts the serpent person off and just floats him out to the truck. I got 3 successes.
Oh, I just saw. Okay.
Well,
Is Gregor still on top of the serpent?
I thought it was light. I'm still holding on. I thought it was light. That's right.
So strong, Pavel. Like you've been working
I-
out, doing some push-ups.
Wait a second, Leo.
Eat is all right, my friend.
Pavel he just coasts on it all.
All right. You load the 2 bodies onto the truck. We're gonna siphon some gas out and start a fire.
Yep.
Yes.
You know, not
Sure.
like a horrible blaze, just
I-
on the bodies.
I get it. So the rest of you, maybe do you pile the bodies up in the
Yeah.
mortuary?
Yeah.
Some
Yep.
of you siphon some of the fuel out. You'll be able to find a canister or some sort of container to put it in the mortuary. Bring it back. Boom. Light the bodies on fire. There's a small fire in the basement, and we drive away into the night. We'll see.
Across one of the bridges and into Rome.
According to plan. There we go.
I mean, I thought we were gonna burn a bridge, but burning the hospital, why not? Good job, Gregor.
We had a very interesting and unexpected evening, but I believe everyone responded quite well to the problem at hand.
I think we're kind of getting the hang of this.
Though I am afraid now that the German forces and the Italian special police that are here will obviously be aware that there are some allied activities in the area. It may make a movement a little more difficult.
That is true. That is one of the reasons I wanted to ensure that none of those German soldiers were capable of giving forth testimony about us.
I'm going to put this out there. There's no shots fired on our side. There's weird little meatballs. There's like a meat grinder of death that happened, and the fire. They've already been messing with weird Atlantean stuff. I mean, I'm just saying, maybe there's a curse, you know?
Well, unfortunately, all of the Italians in the hospital saw us.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah.
And although we did kidnap one doctor, the other two we let go. So they will clearly identify us as not German forces. That is for sure.
That's true.
But I am wearing a German soldier's hat, however. And I spoke to them in German. So honestly, they could be confused. Who knows? But you're right. We should be much more careful.
Yeah, wait till we go to the sites just swarming with.
Let's just go over to
Nazis.
the Mussolini site right now. Why not?
March
You know,
I agree. Let's
see
ride
if we
this
can roll the hard
momentum.
6 tonight.
Like, you guys are on it. Yeah, I think we're all. Let's just. Yeah, I agree. Let's do
Let's
it.
just do it.
Drive
Ride
the truck
wave.
right through his
Ride it.
office.
Now, if the truck was only a little
Gregor's
bit smaller,
driving.
I could pick it up and throw it through the side of his office. But it's a
Oh
little
my
too big
God.
for that. If it was a Jeep,
like-
I could do it.
Just light the back on fire, let Gregor drive, and that's the last thing we see is him just
Into the sunset.
he just scampers away. It explodes into Mussolini's office.
All right, I think that's a good place to leave off. That didn't go as expected, but I prefer what happened instead. That was pretty good. That was really, really cool. That was a really cool combat. Showcasing
Super
what
pulp.
you're all capable of.
Yes, very fun.
And
I love the pulp.
the complications in full effect. I also appreciate the odd complication. Things
This is
going
so
bad
good.
because it creates cool situations like that. Okay. I thought we were going to get more done tonight than that. But we got serpent people. At least we got to the serpent people.
Yes, we did.
I promised some Cthulhu stuff finally.
Okay.
All right, let's do the round table. Jeff, what do you got going on between now and next Thursday?
Tomorrow night, twitch.tv/the lollygaggers. We are playing Death in Space again from Free League. Very fun game. Saturday, another Free League game. We're continuing our One Ring Second Edition campaign. And on Monday, I think should be back playing Deadlands.
Yes.
Pending. But yeah, I think we're okay.
Megan, have you played any games recently, or any games you'd like to talk about?
I have. I've been. I'm on a short leave from work, so I thought I would spend some time playing some board games, both in person and online. And I gave myself a goal of going through the 100 most popular games of all time, and I'm happy to say that I am on 43. And it's been good. It's been really weird. It's been like lots of like snakes and ladders and stuff. So I'm
Part
excited.
cheesy.
Right, as I get closer to the end of my challenge, to get some more games that I haven't played before. Yeah.
Very good. Aaron, what do you got going on between now and next week?
Let's see. Next Wednesday, I'm not sure because Wrath and Glory ended this week, and Once Upon a Time in the Old World Season 3 doesn't start for 2 weeks. So there may be something on Wednesday around 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, but I'm not sure what it'll be. But if they do something, I'll probably be involved with it on Garblag, or hopefully. Thursday, Cyberpunk Red. And then Thursday night, back here for some more Achtung. No.
Oh no,
next
Jeff's going to be
Thursday
away.
night.
Jeff's
That's
going to
right.
be away next week, and we don't want to continue the fun without Pavel, so we will most likely be doing a one-shot of something else. We're looking at possibly Savage Worlds Pathfinder for next week, Thursday.
That's it.
That's it. And, Jeremy, why don't you tell me about that Patreon?
Yeah, Aaron Reese on Patreon. You've got comic books, you got 5e assets, you got maps, Lots of fun stuff.
Awesome. Beautiful. Yeah, thanks everybody for joining us and sticking with us. That was a wild ride tonight. That like I said, I did not prepare. I was not prepared for that, but I really enjoyed where it went. Even though my NPCs got a shellacking, it was pretty badass. It was really cool. So thanks for joining us. Have a great week, and we'll see you next week, everybody.